Hello, I'm Greg Jamian, and welcome to Boomer Health at Home. As more baby boomers receive medical services at home, there are many questions that pop up that require sometimes quick answers. I have put together a series of short segments with healthcare professionals that will help explain how things work, along with answers to common questions found in home-based care. I hope you find the following information helpful.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Boomer Health at Home. I'm your host, Ryan Donnellan. On today's episode, we're going to discuss a topic that really impacts all generations, but especially the baby boomer generation, and that's wealth care and management. And joining me today on the show is the President and CEO of Americare to offer his opinion and some great advice on this topic, Greg Jamian.
Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Great, Greg. Thank you for coming on the show. Welcome. And today we're going to be discussing protecting your wealth. How do you describe the term wealth care?
Well, wealth care is a new term that's kind of popping up, and it was coined actually at the University of Pennsylvania. It's a great term because, we look after our health these days, and we read all about, health trends, but something as important as our wealth, and when I say wealth, I don't mean you have to be wealthy, but it's just protecting future funds that are going to take you into retirement. And we do very little sometimes in protecting those funds. So wealth care might include doing business with banks maybe that are age friendly and kind of look after people as they become older and maybe might make more mistakes in money management.
Was dealing with financial matters more difficult than other types of problem solving?
Yeah, when you're dealing with money matters, okay, they are a lot more complex. And the psychology of aging encourages kind of the too good to be true syndrome, and a lot of seniors fall prey to that.
At what age do most people start to show signs of diminished cognitive ability?
Well, studies show that we reach our peak in cognitive ability at age 50. And that's not to say that at age 60 you're not sharp, but there is a decline after the mid-50s to have less cognitive abilities and to deal with more complex problem solving.
Is this due to a disease or just part of the normal aging process?
No, it's the normal aging process, right? Now, there are certain diseases that exacerbate it, quicker, for example, Alzheimer's, but generally speaking, these diseases don't come into play, until, 55, 60, 70, but, it is the normal aging process.
So tell me, why is financial management often an early casualty?
Well, because what we do is our daily banking activity, moving money maybe between accounts, paying online and knowing which bank to draw money from if you have multiple accounts. Plus, as you enter this decline period, sometimes, you might make poor investment decisions, and we find that a lot of people are more vulnerable to fraud and financial exploitation, and they become a prey for scammers.
So is there data to back these claims up? Or?
Well, so the last census, I believe, was 2010, and basically what that census showed is that 13% of our population is 65 or older, and that age group contributes to roughly 1/3 of the wealth in the world. So it's a 13% might not be a big number, but the 1/3 of all wealth is a huge number. So that basically means people work for a living, growing their wealth for retirement. And so they probably have this nest egg there that needs to be protected.
Is it difficult to measure abuse?
Well, one of the things in measuring abuse is that most of these claims or crimes that are committed for seniors go unreported, because typically, somebody is ashamed to report that they've been scammed, because nobody wants to be considered, foolish. However, as we age, we do become more vulnerable, and the best guess is between 3 billion and 70 billion, or 30 billion, I'm sorry. And I know that's a big spread, but it's really hard to lock down.
Okay, what should boomers look for when they are selecting age-friendly banking solutions?
Well, there are some banks out there that are actually getting into the act of becoming age-friendly, and that's kind of another new term that's out there. And such things as voice recognition for remembering passwords, where you can actually, enter your password by talking, and the computer recognizes your voice. And so a lot of banks are looking at that. And also they're doing a better job training their staff to look out for signs of dementia in their current clients. Logarithms are being developed to identify unusual spending patterns in certain individuals, and so they're making a lot of leeway on trying to assist the senior. Also, things like giving family members access to your accounts, but on a read-only basis. So they can't actually move funds or spend funds, but they can help monitor the funds of their parents and make sure there's no irregularities. Also, things like giving banks authorities to delay payments, especially large transactions. If you're paying an Edison bill and it's $200, that's not unusual. But if there's a payment to a charity or such for $5,000 or $10,000, that might ring some alarms.
Great. Well, Greg, I think we have time for one last question. So what are some last tips that you would offer our viewing audience at home in protecting their own wealth?
Well, I think the first thing is to make sure your financial papers are in order, and to utilize trusted lawyers and financial advisors. Another tip might be to seek help from bank trust departments. Their officers are trusted advisors, and they can help sort things out, plus help manage and monitor your day-to-day activity. Also, create an inventory of your financial holdings, consolidate bank and stock brokerage accounts to minimize or less to manage, let's say. And that's important too. A lot of people have multiple brokerage accounts or multiple bank accounts, but consolidating those to one, not more than two, goes a long way. And I always tell people, to consider putting some of that wealth maybe into an annuity, because these products are great. There's a lot of new ones out there, and they require very little management going forward into your senior years, and you can depend on a constant income coming in without having to call your broker and move money around on a monthly basis to accommodate your spending needs.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you. That's really great advice. Unfortunately, though, we are out of time, so I want to thank you for coming on the show today. It was really good. And
great being here.
And if anyone at home has more questions about their own wealth care, you can reach us at area code 248-288-2270. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.